Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Mckola and Howson Uncensored. I am Mckola. There he is, Howson. We are back for a little bit of uncensored. To be honest, we're always uncensored, but even more so here. And we've had enough of you.
Should we call it unplanned?
Unscripted, unplanned, unprepared. Just whatever, really. So those people that moan about us not talking about football, get a grip. That's what this place is here for. Although today we are talking about football.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, we are. Shall I tell you what we're talking about? Cristiano.
Oh!
Let me finish it. Cristiano Ronaldo is coming home, Steve.
No, he ain't.
He's coming home.
No, but he's not, though, is he?
But we've made the group. Bringing home Ronaldo. What was it called? Driving home for Christmas. Bringing home Ronaldo. Bring home Ronaldo.
Wait.
Remember that?
Are you being serious?
Nah, they're not involved again. But we are linked to him again. You heard the links? You heard the rumours?
We're going to fly a plane.
Bring him on a plane. Bring him on from Spain.
And here's, look,
Ronaldo.
even if you get the money to buy the guy's on so much
All right, we'll talk about that
wage.
in a minute. We're going to be talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. We're going to be talking about all the latest things. International football. The longest penalty ever. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, you just showed me a minute ago.
Oh, yeah. You were supposed to pretend that never happened.
Oh, what, the longest penalty ever?
Yeah.
In terms of run-up, Adam?
Not in terms of run-up, no.
Okay.
In terms of decision and taken.
Okay.
Do you remember we thought Bruno Fernandes taking a penalty after the full-time whistle was a bit wrecky? Imagine it being months later.
Months. It's not months, though, is it?
Happened in Chile. We'll be talking about that as well. And we might have Joe. No, we haven't got him today, thank God. No Joe, popping in. Loving it.
Buzzing.
But yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo linked with a move to Manchester United again. This time, though, wouldn't surprise me if there was something in it. Genuinely.
He was coming
genuinely.
at the end of 2013. Summer 2013. And then Fergie was like, anyway, I'm out. And he changed his mind.
At what point was he then in Real Madrid? They'd won a Champions League,
4
right?
years or something. I'd have been there. I don't know if he had won the Champions League then.
Well, he's won 5 there, so I assume he won 1 while he was in that period. Like, was Mourinho was their manager?
Yep. Oh, he just left.
No, because he managed Real against Fergie, didn't he?
But he left that season.
Yeah, so he just left. Yeah, so Ronaldo coming back under Fergie would have been possible. But I think it's more possible now because of the coronavirus.
How old is he now? 35?
Forget, he could be 40 and
No,
I
it
think
doesn't matter, but how old is he? 35?
I don't know.
So he would have been like 28-ish that time.
Still get him in his peak. If Ronaldo never left in 2009,
Don't do this.
how many league titles would we be sitting on?
All of them. The guy basically adds 40 to 50 goals a season to you. No matter where he's been. At least for that, probably 10 years, 8 years that you probably got 40 to 50 goals a season out of the guy. Pretty much. Accounting for the La Liga exchange rate. That wins you trophies. I don't think you lose out on goal difference in 2012. I don't think you lose out to the single offside in 2010. So there's an extra 2. So that makes it, like 9 on the bounce or something from 2007 onwards.
Might as well be Celtic. I mean, you know, if we had Ronaldo, we may as well be Celtic. Yeah. How many Champions Leagues would we have had? Well, we lost another one with him.
I'd say one.
At least one more.
I'd say at least one.
But
yeah.
he won 4 or 5 more.
Yeah.
And he was a massive...
Well, let's not... he's an unbelievable umpire.
And who else does he attract to the club as well?
Yeah.
Because players would come just to play with him.
This is it, man. The short-sightedness of the Glazers going, Jesus Christ, £80 million. Fast forward 7 years.
Well,
6 years. 6 years. Well, obviously not since we sold him, but like from when we were supposed to be getting him. And £80 million gets you Harry Maguire. Now, I don't want to diss Harry Maguire, but let's be honest, they're not in the same stratosphere.
And even at the time, I think most people thought it was cheap for Cristiano Ronaldo. Problem was he wanted to go. He wanted to go the year earlier. You know, regardless of the price, he was going.
How would you keep him? Pay him 1.5 million a week. Still a bargain, by the way, if you do. Because you've got to remember, we paid 12 million for the guy. So paying him however much that ends up being, 50 million a year, 75 million a year, still a bargain. While he's still banging in goals on that scale, bargain.
Imagine like Rashford playing with Ronaldo, things like that. Like the kind of things that they pick up off them as well. Obviously, if Ronaldo played for United after Fergie left, Rashford probably don't get his chance. You know what I mean? Like,
never know.
But like those players learning off Cristiano Ronaldo.
The thing is, he got his start because Rooney was injured. Martial got injured in the warm up.
Will Keane.
He lives his life injured. But Ronaldo rarely injured. And I think that's a testament to his work rate off the pitch. The guy's a machine. You've heard Paddy Everett's stories like, don't go around with his house for lunch. It's not going to be a good time. He'll be like, let's play table tennis. I have a game of table tennis. It's the most competitive game of table tennis the world's ever seen. But maybe that sort of work rate and ethos rubs off on some players. You never know.
No, I think it does.
Tevez alone. I mean, you don't look at Tevez and go, oh, that's a guy with a great attitude. But even Tevez said, didn't he? I was like, since I was this motherfucker, he's always here at training. I'm going to get up extra early tomorrow and I'm going to beat him in. And then he gets in, he goes, Ronaldo's just sitting in the changing room, tired, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you used to hear stories about him beating Fergie's training and that. And that kind of elite mentality rubs off on a lot of people.
Cantona's rubbed off on the class of 92, lads.
But look, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Isn't that what we're supposed to do?
Is it realistic?
No.
I think it is.
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, the Glazers probably go, let's re-sign Ronaldo for probably like, what's he probably going to go for now? 40, 50 million still? Probably.
Juve probably let him go for cheap because they probably can't afford his wages right now. Think about it. Coronavirus would have fucked them a lot.
Oh, yeah, because we were immune.
No, we're not immune, but, you know, we're one of those teams that are in a more comfortable position. What?
One of those teams that you see now and then.
Yeah. I thought you said, have you seen our net? And I was thinking, yeah, we are one of those teams that you see now and then. We don't score 10 anymore.
Or 6.
Or 2.
Conceded 6 though this year.
Oh, man. There's been some batterings though over the years. What's the most uncomfortable you felt watching a defeat?
One of the most uncomfortable defeats ever was City at home in the League Cup last season. Quit it with them fucking graphics. And that was because I felt helpless watching us. I was like, oh my God, we're miles away from these. Just getting pressed to death. Phil Jones, David De Gea just...
That was when Phil Jones kept trying to play out, didn't he?
Stop it. And Bernardo Silva was fantastic and they hammered us. But only for a half of a game. Second half we tightened it up.
We won?
And we won the second leg. But that 45 minutes just like... We're just getting run over here. And that happened previously as well in Fergie. We played Scholes in midfield against Yaya Toure and it was...
Yeah,
it was like a tortoise trying to race.
My worst battering, I'm trying to think. Like, ones when you're young cut you up, but that's because you're a dickhead. Like, you think you're going to win every game. Like, I remember being devastated by...
There was 4-1 when Rooney had that thing on his head at the Etihad a few years ago, Moyes season.
See, I can't even remember that. I can't... But, like, 5-0 Newcastle, 5-0 Chelsea.
Had a grey hoodie on.
I remember them. 5-0 Newcastle, 5-0 Chelsea. But under Fergie, even a 6-1 City will be all right. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those...
Some of those in Europe, Barcelona in Europe, 1994.
Too young to remember that. But some of those in Europe that cut me, 96 Dortmund, or was it 95 Dortmund, 96 Monaco, something like that. We had Monaco as well, Bayer Leverkusen.
The bastard.
Bayer Leverkusen. And I remember, was it Giggs had a chance to dink the goalkeeper towards the end of the game and he just floated it over, or was it Forlan? And it's like, just...
The like, margins of not winning everything.
We almost thought it was certain we were going to Hampden Park for that final.
Yeah, written.
Fergie's final.
Come on, man. And he was quitting that season.
Was that? Yeah, 2001. So Sven, do you think he quits if he wins that?
Yeah.
Fucked it, innit? Thank fuck though, he didn't. Because he could have won that. Okay, we've got 3, but then he would have left. We still got that one later, 2008.
But that period of time from when he was finished, obviously we won 3 on the bounce. No one else has done. Arsenal, we let them have a go. 2002. We won it back again in 2003. And Fergie, I think, was trying to change how United played and adapt us more to the 4-3-3, which I think he preempted. Or maybe Queiroz had preempted. Someone had preempted it, I think, and that's what we was edging to. It didn't really work with Beckham and Giggs because they're not really the sort of, certainly Giggs at the time definitely wasn't, but the flying wingers of like your Bales, Ronaldos, Robins, and people of that sort of ilk, which really made the 4-3-3 tick later in that decade. But look how long it took Sir Alex Ferguson, from 2003 to basically 2007-8, when we actually got back to being a very, very good team again. Now, this is the greatest manager the world's ever seen. This is the greatest manager the world has ever seen, with a chairman in Martin Edwards who's giving him what he needs. Varane, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Rio Ferdinand, Wayne Rooney, Cristiano Ronaldo. Think of that in 5 signings. And he still managed to go 2004, let Arsenal win it by drawing loads. 2005, let that Portuguese fella win a couple. And United fell off. And I remember people at the time saying, Fergie's lost it, Fergie's lost it, Fergie's lost it.
I remember Blackburn. We lost 2-1 at Old Trafford. I was sat in where, not far from the dugout. So Fergie walks past us. We'd lost 2-1. Mort Gams Pedersen scored twice. And I was 15, 16. And I'm not used to losing at this point. And Fergie, you can't say a bad word about Fergie around me because I'll fight you.
People who make bruising, they say, sorry, need to learn how to stir them. Because that was like treacle at the end.
And Fergie was walking past, and 2 fellas behind me started giving him stick. Like, fucking sort out. And I turned on them, started on them. So 3-4 of us are arguing in the stands about Fergie.
United
like,
arguing.
But it was in 2005. Like, people were on his case.
I remember the forums. I remember the fanzines. I remember the message boards. I remember like what you kind of had a sort of like. I remember the phone-ins. I remember all of the at the time is, it's all about this new guard of manager. Jose Mourinho's, your Rafa Benitez. Who else would have been sexy at the time? Probably like 2005.
Philippe Scolari.
Alan Kirbishley's. It's about them.
Philippe Scolari. He was going to go to England. Remember that?
Yeah, but he was old then.
Capello.
Maybe not even Capello. Sven would have been in there. So it was this new breed of manager. It was Fergie's old school. You can't be like that anymore. But then Fergie proved them all wrong. He won a Champions League, got to 3 Champions League finals, and he also won 3 back-to-back titles. Like, he completely reinvented the team, made a phenomenal team, arguably his best ever team. Again, after being finished. So if it takes the greatest manager ever, a period of 5 years from a team that had won a title, a team that had previously won 3 back-to-back titles and a Champions League, with the likes of Roy Keane, with the likes of Wayne Rooney, Cristiano Ronaldo, Rio Ferdinand, if it takes him that long to turn a ship around, when people go, why are you always saying be patient? That's why. Because I believe it takes a long time, and I think sacking managers before you see the fruition of their work is wrong. All right, granted, sometimes you can see that it's definitely going wrong, and David Moyes was that. But I actually think Louis van Gaal probably needed more time. I think Jose Mourinho
some bad times during Van Gaal.
But boring times, not bad times. We didn't really get battered.
Was bad.
We lost games, but we didn't get battered.
December was bad.
Now you got to think.
You weren't outside the Vitality Stadium with me, fucking in the rain, crying. Outside the Wolfsburg Stadium after we got fucking Nick Powell. Like, oh.
But there's that an example. Like, he had Nick Powell to bring on.
Yeah.
But
he brought him on.
It wasn't like he had a prime Ronaldinho sitting there and he's like, no, Nicholas.
But I think Louis would do something like that.
Maybe.
He would do something
but
like that.
But he won a trophy.
Nah, I hear what you're saying. I think every manager can point to not being properly backed at some point. Even Mourinho, even though he deserved to get sacked at the point he got sacked, he had excuses.
But would have that 6 month happened if he'd have actually got...
He wouldn't lose his head if he gets what he wants. No. Even if he got, you know how he kind of didn't want Marshall to stay, he wanted someone else.
He wanted Marshall, Pogba and Shaw gone, and what's interesting
is... I think that
might happen.
He goes around that if... he works with that if he gets the other things he wants, I think. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't lose his head as much if he gets a centre-half. That can make you more angry when you don't get what you want. So, yeah. One of the things that funny you mentioned that there as well, talking about, Rooney, Ronaldo early days, and I'm not comparing them. But that's why I do get so frustrated about when people get on Rashford's back, when they get on Martial's back, when they get on these players' backs so quickly after one bad game or a few bad games, it's like, are you looking at, because I remember my dad saying, Ronaldo's shit, one-trick pony. I remember that, and I remember
And by the way, that wasn't just his old man that said that. That was
everyone.
Probably 40,000 people.
It was a cliche, wasn't it? And then, that's why I thought, because at the age they're at right now,
shitloads of goals.
At the age they're at right now, they're doing so much better than some of their peers, some legends that have gone before them. And
Marcus
that's not to say they'll do what they've
per
done.
game is better right now than Terry Henry and Cristiano Ronaldo, which is mental. But what I think it shows is that it adds up to the game being a lot more attack focused and there's more goals scored. And you see the likes of Mane and Salah putting in the seasons they did. They wouldn't have done that in the 90s. The games were closer. It was a tighter affair.
It was like someone tried to.
Lukaku's like a goal off original Ronaldo's tally, best tally at Inter Milan. Are you telling me that they're the same?
No. But it's like someone pulling up. I can't remember who it was. I got into a debate with an Arsenal fan, as you do. And they were talking
that's
about.
dead hard to do because they're usually so level-headed.
They were talking about Aubameyang and comparing him to Martial. And I was thinking, bro, when Aubameyang was Martial's age now, he was at Saint Etienne. The most goals he scored in a season was 7. And he had won 1 French League Cup. What we're looking at here are teenage players that are growing up now. They're not teenagers anymore. But they're players that are developing at the highest possible level.
Under the most pressure.
It's fucking... And
do you know
with the chop and change of manager...
Do you know where you fucked up here? Arguing with Arsenal fans.
Oh, yeah, I know. But sometimes...
Just stop doing it.
You can't talk. You're right. Well, you can talk. You're talking to me now. But you're on Twitter... arguing every day.
No, I'm not.
Maybe not with Arsenal fans, but every day arguing.
That's what Jay does. I don't argue with people on Twitter.
Does Jay run your Twitter account?
No. I haven't even been on my Twitter for a week.
A week. But before that, his last tweet was him arguing.
Wasn't.
Guaranteed.
Anyway, at least we haven't got Joe interrupting us talking about balls today.
Oh.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. What is the best brand for my balls? Manscaped, of course. And that's why I'm here to talk to you about Manscaped. What is that? Is that an errant nose hair? A nose pube? It looks like it might be. And if that's looking gross, I'll tell you what else probably looks gross. Your downstairs garden, doesn't it? Your lady garden.
Baby.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, you
look
wish.
after them.
I'll tell you what, and with it being so small, you've got to shave really close around it so it really makes it pop.
I'll tell you why.
Go on.
I got it last time.
Did you?
Manscaped, yeah.
Yeah?
I listened to you. I know you popped up.
Yeah.
But I listened.
Well, I'm here now to
I got the
replace
cold on. Got some gear in. Trimmed my shit.
Well, that's the great thing. Paddock 20 is our code today, and you can get free shipping and 20% off your first order with the code Paddock 20. Now, it's the 21st century, Adam. Everyone is tucking into their little downstairs knackers, and you can't just be having it like these traditional shavers. I've done it before. You use a head trimmer, and it comes out, and it snags the bit of skin.
You once use your Nan's Bic as well?
Yeah, I use my Nan's Bic. Do you know those scissors where you shake them back and forth, and it's sort of shears, like hand shears? Used some of them before. End up looking like the edge of a newspaper that a bulldog's got onto. Oh, nobody wants that. But with the Lawnmower 3.0, Adam, there's no nicks, no nothing. The ceramic blade makes sure that every single time your knackers are pristine condition.
Sometimes when you catch
you could eat your dinner off them, mate.
You know when you catch them sometimes. Does that not happen?
That doesn't happen anymore.
Amazing.
And it's all because of the Lawnmower 3.0. That's downstairs, upstairs, get your nose hair, get your ear hair. There's a handy light on it so that if you're in the shower in the dark, you don't want anyone to see you. Maybe you're under your blanket because you share your room with your brother. You're over 18 though. You share your room with your brother. You don't want your girlfriend, your wife to know that you're trimming your pubes in the dead of night.
The worst thing is when you nick it, you think you've got away with it. There's no blood. Look 5 seconds later, it's everywhere.
It just seeps through. It seeps and it never stops seeping. But with Manscaped, you don't need to worry about that because there's anti-nick technology in the Lawnmower 3.0, upstairs, downstairs, keep it tight. And once again, it's 20% off and free shipping at checkout with the code Paddock20. Get back to your podcast.
Keep it tight like a toy guy.
Manscaped. God damn.
What happened then?
I feel weird.
You alright?
Don't touch me, that's illegal.
Oh yeah, sorry. Take that back.
You
okay?
I feel like I wasn't myself for a second. What was we talking about?
Ronaldo coming home.
Oh, fuck off.
You know, every time
I've been hurt before, Adam.
We have been hurt before, but I think this one might be a little bit possible. Might be a little bit possible, you know, guys. I'm saying there's a chance. Do you ever have broke boys out here? Broke boys? FC? We pretend to be broke boys, but we know Ronaldo.
Nah, we're broke. We're on about 500 mil worth of debt.
We know Ronaldo sells shirts.
Where'd you get that sort of overdraft, by the way?
Oh,
Because my bank don't do that.
my bank won't even give me a £5 overdraft. Jesus Christ.
At what point do you walk in? Do you have to wear a suit? Walk in, wear a suit, maybe some nice aftershave. Right, hi mate. Can I get a £500 million overdraft, please? Do you go in and ask for 100 million? What, like, you go in, so it goes from like £100, £250, £500, 500 million. Like, at what point? Because I reckon you got to ask them for that face to face. You can't like text.
That's a gradual. You first get 100 million, and when you
first get 100 million
overdraft, and then when you're getting,
you first get 100 million.
Yeah. These are ballers, bro. That's like me and you getting £100 overdraft.
No, it ain't. I've put more into that club than they have.
Yes, we have, but they own it.
£100 million is your starter for your overdraft.
Yes.
I don't think it works like that.
We've got players that are worth that much. Right. We can just put Rashford in the bank.
I don't think you can deposit a man.
Oh.
Stand here, mate. What am I doing? Just stand there for us. This man's going to take your picture and a thumbprint.
We can't put Rashford in the bank anyway. He's got kids to feed. And he's doing a good job at that.
A whole country's worth of kids.
He's doing a very good job at that.
How mad is it that the government hasn't got the balls to stand up to a young man from Manchester?
They're shook. They are shook.
He literally runs the country by 5 tweets a week.
He's Manchester United's number 10. And England's number 10.
And Downing Street's number 10.
Yeah, Downing Street's number 10. He is the number 10. And what I love about Marcus Rashford doing, I know we talk about this a lot and it gets boring, but it's not boring to me because I'm a massive socialist. What I love about Marcus Rashford doing this is, some people would think I've got to finish everything first before I can focus on this. But he's like, fuck this. Smack bang in the middle of my career, I'm going to get on this. And for that, it's just amazing. I've already told you what I think about him. I love Marcus Rashford. I love him.
It makes me laugh at people saying that he does it for PR. But on one hand then, is that not, I mean, he's not. He objectively is not doing it for PR.
I wish the government did it for PR.
Yeah. Wish the government were like really good to everyone for PR purposes.
Yeah. Just be nice. I think, you know what it is? We're so used to people in this day and age not doing something unless they're expecting something back in return. That when someone does, you're like, it's like if someone come up to you and was like, do you want this? You'd be like, Even if you want it.
I've been tricked before.
Yeah. I'm not sure about this one. And I think that's what it is. We have this. But if the government are telling us we're fucked and we're broke and they need to take more money off us, we'll go with it for the ride. The UK is a very rich country, you know. Very, very, very rich.
Not in the people.
Not in the people, but as a country. We act like Broke Boys FC.
What's mad is
bruv.
this. We're going to get political for about 48 seconds.
No, do it.
What's mad is that the entire world is in debt, right? America's in trillions of debt. This is what I'm getting to. Britain's in trillions of debt. Some of that debt is debt to other countries, which is mad. Really mad. But ultimately, we all owe it to... I mean, like, Kevin Bridges got a really good finger on this, and he's let's invade the Cayman Islands. But on a serious note, if we just go, nah, fucking... The problem is, it's extremely complicated, and I think it's deliberately extremely complicated, so plebs like us don't understand it. But in a nutshell is, you can't just go, go fuck yourself, I'm making my own currency and I'm going to print it and everyone in my country can use it.
Hyperinflation, mate.
Yeah, because then what happens is, that currency is worthless in the eyes of
I did
all
that in
of the
Nazi
other
Germany,
countries.
didn't they?
Yeah, they were burning the pound notes or
You see them pictures
the
of
Deutschmarks,
kids like playing with the money.
because it was cheaper than the paper it were printed on to do. I think the same happened in it was one of the African.
It would have happened in many places, but we only learn.
But where it
about that
went
in
like
school.
3,000% inflation per day, just like bananas. But that's what happens when you just decide to print your own money, and the exchange rates and all that lot is based on confidence. If your country was banging, you just was like, go fuck yourself. Everyone would come and still play ball with you, but there's the risk that they would devalue your currency, and that's when you get hyperinflations and all the rest of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, besides that point,
Because otherwise you could just print more money.
If you want to look at weird things, look at some of these PPE deals and that, and maybe you'll realise there's a lot of money going around and feeding these kids. Is it a problem? Feed them all.
And the argument of like, well, people shouldn't have kids if they can't afford them. Correct.
But also, situations change.
Situations in a pandemic. Don't be a dick. Just
stop putting the dick in pandemic. There's no dick in pandemic. Pandemic. Stop being them dicks during the pandemic.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, don't fucking... For me, you judge society by how it looks after its most vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And that's just the top and bottom of it.
Correct, Mundo.
If you can't look after your most vulnerable, then what the fuck are you doing?
Homeless. Hungry kids, then.
Because even the people like fucking foreigners coming over here on them fucking dinghies and stuff like that, how, taking our jobs, how bad have you fucked up in your life that a guy can arrive on a fridge door that doesn't speak the fucking language and can take your job?
And also,
of all of the fucking
if
privileges
someone wants
you've
to
had.
travel that far, like that, well, let me. That's all I've got to say about that. I love this new bit of art that we saw by Axie P19. Some would call it graffiti. I call it art.
It's in Wivington, isn't it? Is it
tape,
near Bottom
yeah,
Lane
it's in
School?
Wivington, where Marcus Rashford was originally from.
That's what people say. It's from Wivenshaw.
He grew up in Wivenshaw.
No.
He was born in Wivington, grew up in Wivenshaw.
No. It's from Wivington and lived in Wivington.
But Wivenshaw sounds great in a song.
Maybe, yeah.
Yes. From Wivington, but that still works.
Yeah. It's just bad info.
Take pride in knowing that your struggle will play the biggest role in your purpose. Marcus.
Mate, that's a quote above his years. So like we were saying, like, there was a quote, I'll have to try and find it. Cantona had a quote about love when he was talking about his new wife. And you're like, those words don't come out of Phil Jones's mouth. Like, just really profound, deep, meaningful words. And you're like, wow. Yeah. Them words from Marcus Rashford there, they're not a 22-year-old Mancunian footballer's words. They're above that.
It's like when we interviewed Eric Cantona. I don't know about you. Obviously, we were really excited. So you've got that excitement in you, which can potentially ruin the interview.
Yeah. He's the only person I've ever been like that with.
But also, when he speaks, he pauses a lot.
There's a reverence to how he speaks.
And it's like, you don't know whether he's finished, or he's still in mid-sentence, or he's going to, like...
Or he's thinking because it's not his first language as well. So he's trying to completely convey exactly what he means because he's very deep in what he says.
That was the most difficult, not interview because of him, but because of that.
Holding your
and
excitement
not wanting
back,
holding your excitement back, wanting to allow him to talk, but also getting all your questions in. Yeah. And like,
because we didn't have a lot of time with him. And there were people standing behind the camera like looking at watches and stuff, weren't there?
We weren't supposed to have a lot of time with him, but he kind of... Obviously, the video was only 15, 18 minutes, but we spent like 2 hours with him, which was incredible. Had a beer and stuff. Oh, man. That's one of my greatest days of my life, gotta say.
I think I sweat a bucket in that. Just nerves.
Yeah. I'm glad we met him before that. Because it killed a bit of the...
That night that we actually met him for the first time at the Lowry, what we stopped and didn't fall into the trap of, the guy that was interviewing him did at the Lowry. When he went to the Lowry Theatre. So the Lowry Theatre, loads of people were smashed watching him. So there was loads of football songs and Cantona songs and stuff in the theatre. But also, because the guy probably didn't have the confidence with the amount of people that was in there, Because there's an awkward silence a lot of the time when you're speaking to Cantona because of that thought process that he's got, because of how long he takes, all that sort of stuff. The interviewer killed that interview on stage, the guy that was doing it. So it was like, Cantona, I've mentioned this before, so I won't take too long on this, but Cantona was going down a rabbit hole talking about the role of FIFA and UEFA and how under 21s have to be like ring fenced and protected and allowed to go to the game and allowed to be dickheads and allowed to be like boisterous and all the rest of it. And he was going down this really deep and meaningful thing, and he paused, and I'm sure he was about to follow up or wrap it up or whatever he was doing, and the guy was like, yeah, so talk to me about Selhurst Park. And you're like, fucking...
And plus, especially because we've heard about Selhurst Park. It's like,
kick the fan, cool.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard this. I haven't heard his point of view on how corrupt he thinks UEFA is and how he wants to protect football as an entity going forward. And honestly, I was captivated listening to him. And then this fucking idiot, just like, yeah, anyway. So tell me about Selhurst Park.
I remember that.
What's your favourite goal? And you're like...
Yeah. I find that's annoying. Like, when people get them big interviews and ask the stupid questions, it drives me mad.
Mental.
Or they get time with... Like, imagine getting time with Cantona and then doing...
What's your
top... crossbar challenge or something.
Top 5 favourite fucking...
goals.
Ugh.
It's like, come on.
No, you ask Cantona about his thoughts on big picture shit because he's got big picture ideas in his head.
Or wacky shit.
Or wacky shit, yeah.
I still find it incredible that Eric Cantona follows us on Instagram.
He follows, what, 11, 12 people?
30.
30 now?
It used to be like 12. We were one of the 12 disciples originally. And then he changed it up.
Which is mad, thinking that. He wakes up sometimes and looks at Joe's stupid face.
And he only really follows, like, from the United, like, Beckham, Matter. Like, very select, like, people, and then us.
What are we going to do that makes him unfollow us? Because he will at
No,
one
he
point
won't.
be
He
like,
won't. There's
nah.
nothing there's nothing, I think he knows we'd notice. You know when you know someone would notice so you don't unfollow them?
No.
I do.
I block you all day. I block people I like.
Block and unblock is very good as well.
No.
Because they unfollow you and you unfollow them. It's good like that.
Okay.
And then they don't get the block stamp badge of approval that they all want. You know what people want. Oh, look, he blocked me, rattled him.
Bothered, you can have it. I'll give it you. I'll dish it out like sweets. Right, cheers for tuning in. This was McKola and
Viva
Howson.
Ronaldo's coming back, 21's coming, 4's coming. It's all coming. I'm coming. Steve's coming.
Anyway,
Joe already came.
I think you have to
Manscaped.
check out the link in the description below for Manscaped, because somehow we have ended up doing a read from Manscaped. But it's pretty good, so check it out and you can get some discount on some ball trimmers if you're into that sort of caper and you do want freshly trimmed balls, because no one likes
prickly balls.
Yeah. Right, cheers for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and we'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.